This is a Louis T Network exclusive.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Louis T, host of the Louis T Network, and this is One Burning Question, a series that will take a look at all 32 teams in the National Football League and pose a question. Some teams will have micro questions where we look at the team in its current state and talk about what could potentially happen for them in this season. And some will take a macro approach where we kind of open up the lens a bit and take a step back and look at it from a wide view look and perspective and talk about where these franchises might be going in the future, not just this season, but moving forward. So I'll take a look at each and every single team, ask a burning question, answer that question, and move on to the next team. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy One Burning Question. Welcome to this In the Lab Room exclusive series, One Burning Question. I, of course, am your host, Louis T. Thank you for joining me on this program. Today, we're talking New York Football Giants. And this is a team that has had a roller coaster of a season. One minute you think this is the team to beat in the NFC East. The next minute they can't get their act together. They're fighting players on the field. And that was a tough loss on Sunday to the Carolina Panthers, one that may have doomed them this season. But it still does not change the fact that this is a dangerous team, and if they stay with the current group, Tom Coughlin as head coach, Eli Manning at quarterback, Odell Beckham Jr. at receiver, which I don't see changing at least for another year, this is still a team that you have to reckon with in the NFC East, which begs the question, do Eli Manning and head coach Tom Coughlin have one more Super Bowl run in them? I think it's a fair question to ask as the one burning question for the New York Giants, because we've seen what Eli Manning is able to accomplish once he gets into the postseason tournament. The problem has been in New York, they haven't gotten in often enough. When they have gotten in, 07, run to the Super Bowl, beat the undefeated New England Patriots. When they get in 2011, win the Super Bowl and beat the New England Patriots. Their problem is, the times in between there, they haven't been able to get into the playoffs. The Giants don't make the playoffs enough. That's why every other year we're talking about Tom Coughlin. Is his job safe? Is he going to be back? We're probably going to hear, rumblings of that in the offseason once again. And I think once again he'll swat those comments away and he'll be back in New York next season. And I believe he deserves to be back because this team had a number of injuries. This team was not that talented. They were decimated by injuries. And they had to continue to put guys in there. Victor Cruz didn't play a snap this season. What will this offense be when you get a healthy Victor Cruz and having Odell Beckham Jr. out there out wide? I think this team could be unstoppable offensively if they can get those two out there and they can have a healthy tight end position. And I like what Will Tye is doing, and if they could get a semblance of an offensive line that's healthy, that can protect up front and open up holes in the run game, maybe they can get the run game going, which has been inconsistent all season long. The defense, they need to get pressure on the quarterback. They haven't been able to do that. They got to find some guys that can do that. Maybe a guy like Owambe Odigizua can come along, a guy you spent a nice draft pick on last season. Maybe he comes along and is able to grow over the offseason and stay healthy and give you something as a rush defensive end. And you get JPP for the whole offseason, and maybe he's able to start getting back to form. There are a number of things this Giants team needs, but make no mistake about it, they're still talented in a number of areas that's going to give them a chance, mainly quarterback, wide receiver, and of course, they can still apply pressure on the quarterback at times, but it's not consistent enough for them to do what they did in the past. You look at some of the things that they've been able to do over the course of this season, and you say they've got some building blocks, but look, Tom Coughlin as the head coach, Eli Manning as the quarterback gives them a chance automatically. They probably aren't going to make the postseason, but nothing is out of the realm of possibility. The NFC East has been wacky all season long, and just because the Giants are now 6-8 and have to win out just to have a shot doesn't mean that they won't win this division. They still need a bunch of things to go their way, but for the most part, they're probably not going to make the postseason this year. So now the question begs, can the Giants get it done maybe next season? Same cast of characters, you add a couple of pieces here or there, and you maybe can stay healthy. And that's probably been the biggest knock on this Giants team, is their health and the availability of their players. They need to stay healthy in order to have a shot. Sort of like the Cowboys. If they're healthy, they're a dangerous team. When they're not the same team. You could say that about any team in the league, but some teams are able to overcome injuries better than others. And right now, the Giants haven't been one of those teams that have been able to overcome injuries as well as some of the other teams around the league. But I'll ask this one burning question for the Giants once more, because I think if they can find a way into the postseason next year, and this, even the door isn't completely shut this season on the Giants making the postseason, but if the Giants can somehow make it into the postseason, you have to ask yourself, can they make that one run? Do Eli Manning and head coach Tom Coughlin have one more Super Bowl run in there? I think if you split them up, they're not the same team. I don't see Eli Manning winning a Super Bowl championship with another head coach for the remainder of his career. If he's going to win another chip, it's going to be with Tom Coughlin roaming the sideline as a madman. And so I think that's what you have to take into consideration if you're the Giants. You're going to hear a lot of the chatter this offseason. Is Tom Coughlin too old? Has this thing passed him by? Can he get the most out of his players? Has his message gone stale? Yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, you give him a full complement of football players. You add in a couple of young, talented football players that can help this roster, and all of a sudden the Giants will be right back in the discussion of NFC. We've seen this team go toe-to-toe with the NFL's best. Had the Patriots on the ropes, let them off the hook. Had the Panthers on the ropes, let them off the hook. We've seen this team go toe-to-toe with the NFL's best and come up just short. They have the talent, they have the mentality to get it done. They just don't have enough capable bodies. And so that's the one burning question for the New York Giants. We'll see if they're able to sneak in the back door of the postseason this year. Highly unlikely, but still, it's a possibility. But next year, if you're a Giants fan, that's the year you're targeting as maybe the final chance for Eli Manning and head coach Tom Coughlin to hoist another Lombardi. I'm Louis T. See you next time.